Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Dark Roast Podcast. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for doing what you're doing today. As always, I'm trying to get my day started. And today, I started to do what we call a little dupio or dopio. Probably killing that name, but it's okay. Basically, it's a double shot of espresso. So I'm using my light roast because it's just one of those days where it's just straight espresso in the morning. Mm. Delicious, man. Delicious, though. I mean, I'm actually a little bit tired. Not gonna lie. I did my first event, and when I mean my event, as far as a DJ'd a middle school dance um, yesterday, and I haven't DJ'd a middle school dance in a few months. Not super crazy. I've done some DJing here and there, but just not any middle school dances. And for me, I'm not your typical DJ, and what I'm saying is, I'm not a DJ that does like beat matching or a DJ that is gonna be doing like super like mixing and stuff like that. I am not that guy. Like I've actually I've made a quote unquote career or a side career as being what they call like a performance DJ. Meaning I go in there and I make sure your kids are hype. I make sure your event's hype, not just for kids, but I just make sure your kids hype and your event's hype for everybody that attends it. I'm very much interactive. I dance with the kids, sing with the kids. I just make sure that each kid makes them feel like they're like live at a concert, listening to the band that they are choosing to listen to. Um, I had actually one DJ a while ago when I was at this bar who had a great vibe. I loved his music, how he was doing things, and he obviously did some mixing and stuff like that. But I talked to him. I said, "Hey, man, you have a business card," and on his business card, it said he didn't call himself a DJ. He called himself an atmosphere creator. And if I ever meet this person, or if you ever listening, man, I use this to this day now. I'm not a DJ. I'm an atmosphere creator. I create atmosphere, meaning I create a vibe. And that's what happens when you come to my events. I'm always trying to create a vibe. I'm not doing super beat matching or anything like that. Um, but I will tell you this, man, as doing middle schools, and I feel like I'm one of the best middle school DJs out there. Not gonna lie, just because I get involved with the kids. Um, you're surprised on what kids really want to listen to nowadays. Like back in my day, we wanted to bump and grind. We wanted to get on some girls, you know what I mean, and get our little freak on. I'm not gonna lie, right? That's what we wanted to do. Nowadays, kids just want to sing the first 30 seconds of a song. It's crazy how their attention span is just so terrible because of TikTok and Instagram, even though you're probably watching this on there. And I'm just so shocked about it, man. Like, they'll know the lyrics to certain songs, you know what I mean, but not all the songs. They'll know the chorus, but not the rest of the song. They'll request songs that they have no idea what this song is about, but they're gonna be singing it anyway. And some of the ratchet ass songs that some of these kids like want to hear is crazy to me. Um, and I noticed there's certain people like are not for the club, like this whole Kendrick Lamar and beef with Drake. Drake is a club DJ. I mean, a club performer. He's for the kids. Kids love his songs. They sing his songs. That's what they're for. And Kendrick's for the real hip hop artist. Let's be real. I can't play a Kendrick Lamar song from beginning to end unless it's humble, and the kids will know that to a certain degree. But they couldn't rap the parts and anything like that. Not like us was a phenomenon. All the kids knew just the first half of the song. So you got to say Drake. I hear you like I'm young. So that's just me venting, though. That's just me venting. That's what happens when I have a little espresso in the morning. Gets me all hyped and stuff like that. But that's not what we're here for today. Um, so today, what I really want to talk about is what happens when you're just so good at numerous things. You know what I mean? Like, everybody always has a box they want to put themselves in. Like, this is what I do well. But if you do several things well, and this is not to say like toot my own horn. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that what they do well, and they do multiple things well. But the trick is to figure out the job or the thing you want to do for the rest of your life that incorporates all that. You know what I mean? Like me and a friend were talking about this, and it was hard because I was telling her like I feel like there's so many things that I do well, and I kind of want to do all the things, and it's hard. There's not enough time in the day. I mean, let's think about it. Like 24 hours in a day, the recommended sleep time is 7 to 8 hours. So that means you have to be in bed by, what, 9 o'clock, 10 at the latest. Get yourself 8 hours of sleep. I can't do the math right now, but what does that get you? 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Um, and then you start your day. And any of us who has a regular, what they call a 9 to 5, which is really 9 to 6 if you have an hour lunch, um, you're working from 9 to 6. So that means you got to get up, 8 o'clock, wherever you do for work, with either drive to work or work from home. I work from home. So I get up and then get my coffee ready, get my espresso ready, get everything I need to do to get my mind right for the day. And I get in my office, my home office here, and start work. And I'm there from 9 to 6. So you figure out after 6 o'clock, I am burnt out. I am freaking tired mentally. Mentally, I'm just drained. So things I want to do outside of that are more on the fun side, creative side, or things that just don't allow me to think so much. But you think about like if it's from that means I only have really between 6 to 10 o'clock, about 4 hours to really do something meaningful. And this is like I said, if you just work a Monday through Friday, you know what I mean? Weekends you have off obviously to do everything else you want to do. If you have kids, you're probably going to sporting events, you're probably doing parties, all those things, right? But it just made me think about how much time a day is really spent on just work and, not doing the things you really want to do. So for those who don't know, I went back to school in 2024. I actually got my bachelor's degree in advertising public relations. Thank you. I know it was a big accomplishment. Took me a while, but I finished. So if anybody's thinking about going back to school, do it. Finish. Get that shit out of the way. And it was a professor of mine's who actually got me into thinking about working in the field of advertising. I was very fortunate where after I graduated, actually a month before I graduated, I actually got a job working at an advertising agency. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy working for this advertising agency. It's a very great company to work for. The people are amazing. The company's amazing. What we do, we focus on um, multicultural in advertising. We're one of the first ones to really do that. And what I mean by multicultural, for those who know, we focus on the Black, Hispanic, and LGBT communities, and making sure that the advertisers come through authentic and to the liking of those genres. But I work what they call in media, and a lot of people don't know, the hard work that goes into media planning, media buying, and there's all kind of different things. I know there's probably some people from work that's probably gonna be listening to this or seeing it. Um, and we do a lot. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes to make sure the ads you see on your YouTube reels, the ads you see on Facebook, the ads you see on on TV, all the ads you see that's on the streaming services. It takes a lot in the background to get it to where it's at, right? And for that 60-second ad, that 30-second ad, that 15-second ad, and I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much working in the advertising industry, but it's not the thing I want to do for the rest of my life. And I struggle with this. I'm pretty sure some of us do. Like, we're working at a job where we appreciate the job, we appreciate what it's doing for our families, putting a roof over our head, putting food on the table, but it's not the thing. And some of us are just settling. Some of us are in jobs where we're just settling for what we want. And, it's not the thing. And for me, I'm more on the creative side of like trying to come up with creative ideas for advertisement, for marketing a brand, for pushing their brand forward, you know, people facing. Like these are the things that I enjoy, and it took a long time to really realize these things. Like, because I felt like there was things that I were good at, so many things that I'm like, how do you make it all into one? And I'm not gonna lie, still to this day, I'm struggling to figure out what is the thing, what is the one thing that I can do that incorporate all the things that I know I'm good at into a job that I can be like, yup, this is not a job. This is just this is not a work. This is life. This is what I love to do. And I do this because, you know, it makes me happy and it puts food on the table and a roof over my head. Um, you know, for me, you know, I was a basketball coach for many years, a high school basketball coach. I love coaching. I miss it. You know, I took time off to go to school. I kind of stopped. I've been helping out my boy here and there. Shout out to my boy Lavelle and the Mingus girls basketball team. And it's just been, you know, great helping them out. But it's like, you know, I do miss it. I do miss head coaching a team. I miss waking up early, doing practices, you know, and being a mentor to these girls out there. For those who lack of a better term, don't have father figures in their life, or their fathers work a lot and so they're not around that much. Not saying they don't not getting love, but you know, just they're missing that little male influence. Sometimes I'm just a big brother to people, and I love it. You know, I love it that I can provide that for some of these girls, and I feel like I was a scapegoat for some of them, and I do miss that. I do miss that, and I think I did that well. I also know that I really enjoyed emceeing. I love, you know, talking to people. I love getting the crowd hype. Um, I love being that centerpiece, and I'm not afraid to say it. I like being a center of attention. Look at the podcast. Let's be honest with you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't. I love being a center of attention. You know what I mean? Especially when it's something around something I enjoy and I love to talk about. Hell yeah, yeah. Come on, put it on me. And so me being a host and MC is something I really enjoyed. The only downside to that, like I always felt like my reading level wasn't the greatest, to be honest with you. But so I enjoyed doing those things. I'm like, what if I did more of those? But it's like it's so hard to find hosting or MC jobs. And plus, for those kind of maybe in the industry, it's hard to keep those. It's kind of like being an actor. You know what I mean? I had a buddy of mine who was the in arena host for Los Angeles Clippers, and after COVID and budget cuts, lost his job. He wasn't doing a bad job. He was doing freaking amazing. He was great. I actually went to one of the events and saw him there. He's super dope. Super dope. This guy like I look up to when it comes to in arena hosting. These are the people that are like in the arenas making the announcements, doing like the giveaways while you're in the stadium. And you think this is a great job, and it is. But it's just like being an actor or whatever. Like it's by gig by gig. You're not getting a 40 hours a week check. You know what I mean? So it's you're going from event to event. Unless you can get on streaming and get on red carpets and stuff like that. So and there's different things that you can do. But anyway, long story short, I thought I was good at. I know I was good at emceeing and hosting events, and I also am just good at coming up with creative ways to move people forward. You know what I mean? Like some creative ideas, like out the box thinking. And so these are all like things I knew that I was great at or good at or good at, great, good, great. No, I'm gonna say if like I was great at. If I was great, I would make my money, right? I don't know. And I'm like, how do you make that into a career though? There's so many different things. And I think sometimes we struggle with that. And it's like we have to find the common denominator in all those. Like I ain't learned shit from math, but I learned about common denominators. And not to the respect of math. I've led it to like in life. Like we gotta find the common denominator of all the things that we love to do. And what is that common denominator? And I feel like I'm almost there. Like I'm about 80 to 90% sure. Like I'm almost on the fist of it. I'm 39 years old, and this is what I'm saying this. And I'm saying like it's never too late. Some people find what they love to do early. It wasn't me. Might be you out there, but it's not me. And I'm really I'm really excited about this next chapter in my life where I'm really finding what I want to do. And nowadays with YouTube and all these different factions of putting yourself out there, like you can make your own business. You can make your own business. And that's the goal, right? Work for yourself. Some of us, love our 9 to 5 and love working for a corporation and stuff like that. And some of us want to work for ourselves and make the money ourselves. Like, you know how many times I've been asked, like, CJ, why don't you do a coffee cart? And I'm just like, bro, like, you know how much money that's going to cost me? You know how much time and energy I have to put in? That means I have to leave my full time job, which, is crazy to think about for something for me to make some money. You know what I mean? That's a cutthroat industry. I mean, not saying it's cutthroat as far as like coffee carts, but there's so many people in it right now. But everybody loves espresso. Everybody loves coffee, so there's probably room for everybody to make money. Just not as fast as I want to make money. I'm being real. You know what I mean? Maybe eventually down the line, maybe I'll do pop ups or doing something like that because I do think I have some banging ass flavors. But with that said, um, there's so many things to think about. And I'm thinking about like, all the things that I do well. And there's probably people out here who are listening who you guys do, you do so much shit well. You do. And sometimes it just takes time talking to friends, talking to your significant other, and really dive into what is it about this particular thing that I do well. And I know it's gonna sound, redundant, but it's like the old verbiage when people say like, um, do what you do what you would do for free, and turn that into something. I don't know. Or I'm pretty much messing up that verbiage. I don't know how it goes, but that's something that helped me out. Was just like, what is the one thing that I know that I used to do for free and I was happy with it. You know what I mean? Like I was cool. Like I can work this and be happy. Like, and for me, it was always around an event. I loved working an event. For some reason, I loved getting up early, organizing the event, working the event. Like, and I guess that love came for we're working with the roast float, and waking up early in the morning, setting up the tent for Kids Day or the street fairs, and interacting with the people and just having a great time. And I did that shit for free. I did that for a nonprofit organization, didn't get paid. Waking up at 6, 5 o'clock in the morning, going down on street fair day, setting up a booth, and being there all day, break down and go home and be happy about it. Like going to Pasadena. Like I spent so many nights going to Pasadena on New Year's Eve. Literally. Like I've probably spent New Year's Eve at home a total of my lifespan, maybe 4 or 5 times in a total of my lifespan. Like actually spent home on New Year's. That was, and that's probably less than that. I'm probably giving myself more now. I think probably only 3 or 4, and that to me is crazy. But I loved it. I loved it, and I'm like, how do I turn that into something? Like I did that shit for free. Didn't complain one bit. I mean, I did complain, but I had fun. I'm not gonna lie. It was a great feeling. So there's so many things out there that I be thinking about, and I'm just, I'm scared that I'm gonna find it too late. I'm scared that I'm gonna get to the job too late. I'll either be too old, or it's just my time with it has passed. But I think about it, it's never too late. It's never too late. When I feel like I'm getting there too late, I always think about actors, and the main actor that comes to mind is Morgan Freeman, who started careers late, and look at him now. I mean, God played God of all things in Bruce Almighty. And didn't get no backlash for it, by the way. That's kind of hilarious to me. But I feel like everybody that plays like a God character or Jesus always gets some type of weird backlash. But Morgan Freeman plays it. We're like, that makes sense, you know. But I'm just at awe. I'm just in awe, um, of thinking to myself like finding that thing. I've started what I call on the spot creative, which is my company. And sometimes it's so funny. I tell my friends I hate calling it a company because I don't know if it's really a company because it's really just me. Um, just doing like creative strategy and creative consulting for brands or for people who are looking to, make themselves louder, whether it be on social media or whether it be in their community. that's what I want to do. I'm like, I want to turn this into something, because quite frankly, the money I make at my job is cool. Okay, let me pause. The money I make at my company is great. It's great for a person who just got out of college, who's working in that industry. Like, I'm at the perfect entry level job after getting my degree. The only issue is I'm 39 years old. you know, if you're graduating college, you're around, you're 24, whatever the case may be. This is the perfect job, and it's really good money for what I'm doing. I mean, as an entry level job. But if you've been around the block like I have, I've held so many jobs, different kind of jobs in different industries, and I have a wife, I have a home, and there's so many things that me and my wife want to do that, being honest with you, I'm not capable of do because I'm financially restricted on what I can do, and that hurts me. That really gets me a lot, and I often fight this battle with friends. As we're talking about it, like, man, like, I just wish I could provide more. I want to give more. And side note, hold on, I'll give a sip of this espresso. Side note is, people always ask me, like, hey, when you get married, does things change? Absolutely. And people that tell you otherwise, they're fools. But the thing that changed for me is my wife made me more motivated. Motivated without even asking to be motivated. Like, I wanted to do more. It motivated me to want to do more for her and for us and for our future families. And that's what it did for me. So what I'm doing, right now is just not moving the needle, and I need to move the needle more, and I need to be motivated to move the needle more, and that's what coming up with whatever the common denominator is between all the things that I'm good at, and that's what I'm trying to tell y'all out there, man. There's so many things that you're good at, and you don't think, even if it's on the smallest level. I don't care if you're good at, I'm good at taking out the trash. I'm good at barbecue, and I'm good at taking photos or whatever it is. There's something that you're really good at, and there's several things that you're good at, and it's just trying to find the common denominator on what makes that all into one job. If it doesn't exist, make it yourself. Like, make it yourself. Like, there was somebody out there who said, I love watching movies, I love taking photos, I love traveling, and hence now you have location photographers for films. Like, people who love films, like, they have to take photographers out to take pictures of locations for the film. That's a job. People don't think about that. If you ever watch the end credits of a movie, like, anybody that stayed for a Marvel movie, you got to stay through all those end credits, and those end credits ain't nothing but fucking jobs. You ever think about it that way? They're all jobs. Somebody getting paid to do something that you probably liked on that screen, and you're like, damn, how can I do more of that? It's hard though. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard to find the thing, or people say your purpose. And for me, being that I know that I'm good at so many things, is just finding what is it between all those things I can use to make the one thing. It's like a recipe to a great latte, right? The espresso part sometimes a little bit bitter, um, and sometimes it provides the strength that you need for your latte. And then you add in your milk, which is like your baseline. Like, this is the base of what I need to make this latte. And then all of a sudden you add the sweeteners. You add your lavenders. You add your rosemary. You add your sweet potato. Whatever you're going to add to try to sweeten up and kick up the flavor to make one cohesive latte drink. I love how I turned that fucking analogy. I'm not gonna lie to you. And that's what makes it. That's what makes it, right? It's all the ingredients for the one. I'm not doing several ingredients to make several different things. I'm using all the ingredients to make one specialty drink. And that's what we're here for, right? Is how do we make that specialty drink? With all the things that you're good at, how do you make that? Like I said, I think I'm almost there, y'all. Like, I'm about 80 to 90% sure. Like, I'm on the test, and it took a long as freaking time, man. It did. It did. And I go back and forth with a buddy of mine all the time, saying like and to a point he's like, dude, you know what you want to do. You just gotta go out there and do it. And I'm just like, nigga, I don't know. Like I don't know. He's like, no, you do, and you just don't want to. And because I don't want to take the risk. Because I'm scared to take a risk at 39. And a lot of us are like that. We don't want to take the fucking risk, right? But right now, you just gotta find the time for the things that you want to do. You just really gotta find the time. Um, shit, a little deep today. Not too deep, but a little deep. I don't know how to really conclude that, but this is a thought I had this morning as I'm drinking this dopio. Like I said, I'm probably killing that name. Just a double shot espresso. I use a light roast because it's less bitter for me when it comes to these espresso drinks. And actually, I'm just out of milk, and I'm just like, fuck it, I just straight espresso today. But once again, y'all, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of this journey. And yeah, man, find that common denominator. Find that thing. Find those things that in each of those things that you do that you love and you know you are great at or good at, and make it the one thing and find that common denominator. So once again, y'all, this has been the Dark Roast Podcast. And like I always try to say, remember, love is not bought, it's brewed. All right, y'all. We'll see you when you see you. Peace.